Hey everyone, we're rated 1692 in chess puzzles, and I've been looking at this puzzle for about 2 minutes now. I thought I started recording, but I didn't. So luckily I made no moves, and I just noticed I wasn't recording, so... so anyways, I've been looking at this puzzle for 2 minutes, kind of going over my reasoning on things, and I'm just not seeing anything. I mean, we can move this pawn and get this bishop with this queen lined up going over here, but I just don't see the greatness in that. Unless he were to go here and then we take his bishop with ours and then his queen takes and we win his queen. But why would he do that? Why would he follow through with all that? I mean, it's a good thing to attack, but then even then, pawns can break that. So I don't think that's the way to go. Maybe something here. Maybe there's something here. Like, we sacrifice a knight. He takes. We take. He takes. We take. But I'm just not seeing. He's still got so many attackers on this F1 square that would be so key to this whole idea. So this one's definitely... And then we go here, attacking this bishop, and he just takes our bishop for nothing. So I'm really not seeing the idea here. Maybe we get the knight out of the way, pull the bishop out, pull the queen out. Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything anything that could be beneficial to black. So I guess I have to think basic and just what move would I make in this position? And I guess I would free up my bishop, honestly. That's not the idea. Oh boy. Well, what if we take our queen out? Nope, that's not the idea. We've already lost this puzzle, but we're gonna try and find it. What about this whole idea of going up? Nope. How about... I think that would be a bad idea, yeah. So that's why I didn't do that. I'm not seeing... Push? Oh. Okay. Right, because the bishop is trapped. The bishop is trapped. So we push up. And he has to take, and we take. It was a simple thing of winning the bishop, punishing his mistake of trapping his bishop. We should have known. Okay, I feel fine. I feel better knowing that. I feel better knowing about that. We've learned. Punish trapped bishops. I see this right here. This is check. He goes here. We can... So what I'm seeing is queen f3 check, king goes down, or rook can go down to block it. But then we just go queen h3. Either way, I think we can win a bishop out of this. So, queen f3 check. If king h2, then bishop f4 check. He can take, we take with his bishop, we win his bishop, and we check him again. So there's that idea, we win a bishop. That's checkmate, right? Queen h3, yeah. White to move. I'm seeing... yeah, I'm seeing rook h7, maybe knight c6. So, rook h7, or rook e7. Queen, king can go c8 or b8, and then... no, he can't go... okay, yeah. We got this. I think it's... he can't go here because of the bishop on g. So, on the diagonal. So, I think it's gonna be... oh, well, he can go here, because that's not a queen. I was thinking of a queen for a second. Let's look. We have 2 rooks, a knight, and a bishop, and our opponent has a queen, 2 rooks, and a bishop. So this might be a little bit harder than I thought, but I'm thinking e7. At that point, king can go either b8 or d8. Either way, knight to c6 is checkmate, because knight covers these 3 options and puts him in check. I think that's the idea. Yep. Awesome. Black to move. We have a queen, a rook, a knight, and a bishop, and our opponent just took one of our rooks. And our opponent has a queen, a rook, 2 rooks, a knight, and a bishop. So first I'm looking at, can I fork king and queen with a knight? Doesn't look like it. At least not this turn. This looks good. This is a forcing move. Trade queens. What happens here? We equalize the position, I think. So, queen takes on b4. His queen takes. Our knight takes. At this point... oh, we actually... we're safe there. Oh, if he takes, we don't have... okay. Yeah, I don't think that whole idea works. This looks like a key idea. If we could just get him in check and keep him in check. But we can't because of his queen. And then there's this idea. He wouldn't fall for that. He could just ignore this if we did this. So... why not just take the rook? I mean, he could... so he could take the rook. I could take his rook. His queen takes. I'm up a queen. Should we just take back? No, that gives him, like, all the options to do whatever he wants. But then he doesn't really have any winning moves, it looks like. I guess if I were to take his rook, he could bring his bishop out to attack my queen. But then I could double up here. I don't know. I'm not seeing it on this one either. I haven't given up yet, though. Hmm. I don't want to trade queens. Well, maybe... What if I took his rook with the queen? No. This doesn't look good, because then he just wins our rook in the end. He takes 2 rooks. Power-hungry rook right here. He certainly doesn't have checkmate or anything next turn. Wow, just taking his rook back, it was that simple. Yeah, that's good. We got it. White to move. We have a queen, and our opponent has a queen and 2 bishops. Okay, well we can't do queen d8 because his bishop is blocking. But I think checkmate with a b8, right? So queen b8, he blocks with the bishop, we take. He blocks with another bishop, we take. And then he can't do anything. Queen b8. Takes. It's a cakewalk. Black to move. We have a queen, 2 rooks, 2 bishops, and 2 knights. So we have all of our pieces essentially, besides a pawn. Our opponent has a queen, 2 rooks, 2 bishops, 2 knights, and they're also just missing a pawn. We have a pawn in a really good spot right here. We can actually take this bishop. We could sacrifice it, but then that really pulls this queen in and makes things a lot worse. So we don't want to do that. That's a problem. But I like our position, and I think we can get checkmate here. What if we sacrificed? Yeah, so we can actually do checkmate right here, because he can't take our queen with the pawn because it would be a discovered check, and then all we do is we go up 1, and that's checkmate. He can't go anywhere. White to move. We have a queen, a rook, and 2 knights. Our opponent has a queen, a rook, 2 knights, and a bishop. This position could look a little scary for white, but it certainly looks more scary for black. The only thing preventing checkmate that I'm seeing right now is he has a knight defending the h7 pawn. So can we do anything to get rid of that knight? Can we fork anything? We can. That wouldn't be good. I would love to get rid of this pawn here. Yeah, so I think the idea might be knight to d5, putting pressure on his knight. If he doesn't address it, then next turn I'm just taking it, and then it's checkmate. Yeah, that's the idea. What's he gonna do? Take and then checkmate? He can't take my knight. It is inexorable, which is unstoppable. White to move, we have a queen, 2 rooks, a bishop, and a knight. Our opponent has a queen, 2 rooks, a bishop, and a knight as well. I'm liking this situation here. We have a queen and a bishop next to his, aiming next to his king. So really this is an idea. And the answer might not be so obvious. Maybe we can do this. I think this right here is checkmate. So bishop b6 and then queen a8, checkmate. White to move, we have a queen, 2 rooks, a bishop, and a knight again. Our opponent has a queen, 1 rook, 2 bishops, and a knight. So this almost looks like checkmate, but then our opponent has the bishop defending. If we sacrificed our bishop for it, he would just take our bishop. Oops. He would take our bishop, but then his king is blocked, and we can do checkmate with queen e8. That's what I'm seeing. Oh no! What happens here? What about my poor bishop? I just take my queen back. Oh, but then I didn't look at this enough. That's my fault. I deserve the loss. I deserve the loss 100%. Actually, why wouldn't I just go here? What the heck? I was complicating things. Okay, black to move. We have a queen and a rook. Our opponent has a queen, rook, and a bishop. We found perpetual check, probably. We want to do a forcing move. Otherwise, he's threatening checkmate, or he's just winning a bunch of material. And actually, sacrificing our rook might be a good idea, because it forces his king to either take or hide on g2. Take on e1 or hide on g2. I don't see a good follow-up to that, though. I don't see a good... Okay, well, what if we do put our queen on h1? And what if he did... Well, he has to block with his queen. Absolutely has to. If we took, he would take back with his king, obviously, and then we're just we did an even trade, and that would be bad for us because he's already up on material, so that would be bad. That would be bad. We could then take our queen to h3. He could block with well, he could either move. Oh yeah, he'd have to block because his queen would be in the way of king g1. So he would have to block again. But then what we did was we moved our position. We forced movement to where we could get our queen onto d3 on a white square. Or in this position, we could do check. He could take. He wouldn't have to, though, so that would probably be blundering the rook. At this position, maybe we just deliver check here, And then king can only move here, or his rook could then block. To which his queen could, well, our rook could take, and then his queen could take. Our queen could take, but then he never went here, so he'd be able to take at the end of the day. So I don't think that would work. Queen h1, queen g1, queen h3, queen g2. Queen d3. If he blocks, we could also go queen d1. Then he could block again with rook e1, but then we can do more damage. Well, we could take at that point. That would be looking more like checkmate. I mean, we could be in more trouble. But what I'm seeing is this. Maybe we can see what he does. Intuition, you know? Now, we could take. That's a bad idea. I think that's a bad idea. Because if we both took, he could just move his king down and he's up a bishop. So we don't want that. I think the best thing we can do is put him back in check on h3. Because if rook threatened, he would just take. Oh, then we win his queen. So yeah, that's good. That's good. So rook threatens, he has to deal with it. It's a forcing move. He has to deal with it. And his one thing that could have taken our queen back is now moved. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. White to move. We have a queen, 2 rooks, and 2 bishops. And our opponent has a queen, 2 rooks, a bishop, and a knight. Now we could immediately threaten, and of course the obvious doesn't happen. Well, actually, we could threaten that. It's kind of an equal position at that point, I guess. We could take the bishop. And then we can lose our knight, our queen with the knight, and then we would get this, and then overall, I think it would just be looking pretty equal. Or at least not in our favor. What if we... Yeah, so it's either... well, I guess we can go to safety. We can move our queen to safety, or we can position it on f3, looking down this diagonal. Definitely we don't want to do something like pushing a pawn, threatening his knight, because then he just takes our queen. This other bishop isn't on the best spot. This other bishop, I'm not seeing too much here. G5 is the only diagonal I'm looking at, and I'm just not seeing it. So what if, let's just do some basic raw calculation. What if we take with the queen, he takes with the knight, so he's down 3, he's up 6, and then he's down 3, and then we're even. So that doesn't look right. But what if we take, he's down 3. Even, down 3. Okay. Okay, so up 3. We're up 3. And then even, and then we're up 3 again, or up, yeah. I think that's the idea. Of course, I didn't think about it like that, but, oh, okay, yeah. I've been through this before, where I don't even know what I was calculating this time, but I have to remember, we have, after that move, we have another move, right? So let's see. We take, he takes, we take, he takes, but we have to remember, we can take again at the bottom. So, glad it worked out. Okay, white to move. What do we have? We have... we have a rook, a bishop, and a knight. Our opponent has 2 rooks and 2 knights. Immediately, I'm seeing g5. Our pieces are playing together very well. We have that bishop there, so that would be... that would mean he can either go h7 or f8. He's too free at that point. So this would be checkmate because rook, yeah, so rook h8 I think is checkmate because the rook defends it, and yeah, he can't go here or here because of the rook, and he can't go here because of the knight. Rook h8. White to move. We have a rook and a knight. Our opponent has a rook and 2 bishops. Immediately I'm seeing rook e7, but then he can just block. That's a huge problem. Let's say we do rook e7, rook g7. We could just take a bishop. No, we can't, because then he just takes our rook. We can't put him in check at that point. Okay, well, we could do some forking, though. Yeah, we could take his rook and fork, because then he would take, we would fork the queen and the bishop, so we would end up winning the bishop. I think that's what we're looking at here. Draw the queen in, draw the king in. We have a rook, and our opponent has a rook and 2 bishops. I'm seeing... we can win... well, let's see. c7 check. He moves up somewhere. We could take the bishop. Then he can do something. Let's see. Rook e7. Bishop. With this, he has to move his king. Doesn't matter where... Oh, his king is blocking, so rook can't come to rescue. Right, so his king will be blocking. So he goes up. We can take the... At that point, we don't even have to take the... Well, we should take the bishop, and then he can do anything. Well, no, he can move his... He can't move his king back down, because our rook is taking the whole file. So we should be free to promote at that point and win the queen, win the rook. So put him in check, win the bishop, and then Oh, okay. I didn't. Yeah, there was that one possibility he could slip away that I didn't calculate. Now we're happy to just do the rook trade, because then we promote to a queen. Okay, well we're also happy to just take his rook. Well, okay, do we take his rook and get, you know, and then promote queen? Or do we just promote queen? We don't promote queen because then he takes our rook. And then our queen is... He can't take the rook. So we take the rook. We take the rook. Yeah. And then he takes, and then we promote queen. That way it's a queen and a bishop, and not a queen and a rook and a bishop.